You're on.
Hey everyone, we're live here at the Lakehouse. And it's a little chaotic, but we're ready for you. So today I want to go through and talk about all the quilts that we have for our next fabric line coming out in January, and that is called American Gatherings. So with me today, let me just introduce who else is here with us. Kaylee, of course, is here with us.
Hey guys.
Yep, and then I have my new home assistant, Christine. Come say hi, Christine.
Hi.
All right, sit down for a minute.
Okay.
All right, so Christine cleans my house. Her and her husband come twice a week and clean my house.
I love you.
Not twice a week, once every other week to clean my house. And Jeter absolutely loves her.
My friend.
And I call him Christine is his girlfriend, and he doesn't leave her alone when she's here. So, but she's gonna help me hold up the quilts today, and I'm training her to be my pressing queen, and that's how we're getting a lot of stuff done this last week. She's helping me, and I had to inform her today. I said, just so you know, I like it when the person that I'm working with or training doesn't know a thing about quilting. And she's like, really?
Works out for me.
Yeah. She's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, because then I can teach you exactly how I would like it done. And you don't have all these ideas on how you think it should be done or the way you've been doing it for 20 years. And she's, I think I just saw the weight lift off her after I told her that. So, all right, so you don't have to sit here anymore if you don't want to, but
Okay.
if you do, you can.
Just let me know what you need.
All right, and we do have a couple. I asked anybody if they had some questions earlier, and I wrote some of them down. So we'll be going through some of those as well. I know I have a list here somewhere. I just want to find it, make sure. There it is. Okay. Yeah, like I said, we're scrambling here, but we'll make it work. All right, so the quilts I'm going to show you are all in the American Gatherings book. So let's start over here. All right, Christine.
Okay.
This one is called American Zig Zag, and we'll hold her up like, all right, so I find the sleeve. So this is American Zig Zag. It's a little quilt. It's made with 2 honey buns, I believe. So those are 1-inch finished strips. The size is not right on here, so I'm not gonna tell you what size it is, but I think it's somewhere like, I don't know, 38 by 48, something like that. We'll have the size on the website. So I want to flip up and show you, slow down.
Oh, sorry.
Ship up and show you what we put on the back, because I know you all love to see what we put on the back. There you go. And this was quilted by Val, I believe, from Vegas. And so just so you know, like, I think you can get 17 2.5-inch. This is like a 2-patch here. And so you need 2 of them to do 34. So that's 34 of them. And this quilt is all built on the diagonal, and it goes together quite quickly once it's done. But cute baby quilt or decorating quilt. All right, so the next one is called Stately. And Stately is 54 by 54. And Stately is made from 5 mini charms. And I know you've seen this one before because this was the first one done. And this one was quilted by Linda Hershka and made with 5 mini charms. And we picked a little bit brighter Bella Solid for this one, so the tan or the creams would show up and not be the same and blend in with the borders and the background. But this one is super cute. I love it. And I actually had Kathy Decker test the pattern for me. Yeah, Christine, you just fold them up and set them to the side over there. She's very new at this. I didn't tell her she was going to be live until she came today. How mean was that, right? All right, so this is Kathy's test of my pattern, and she used the red work charms, and we did a little bit creamier Bella Solid with this one. I believe this is the porcelain 182 with this one. And Kathy did her beautiful free form feathers custom quilting on this one as well. So this colorway technically is not in the book, but just to show you that you just need 5 mini charms and you can make that however you want. Now this one is called Salute. I'll let Christine hold that up good. It is 16 by 38. It's a beautiful little runner for decorating for the 4th of July or summer. I leave all my red, white, and blue stuff up from Memorial Day all the way through Labor Day. I love this, the red, white, and blue for all summer. And this one was quilted by the boys. I don't know, Luke or Jake has done this one. And Kaylee, when you come in, remind me to flip the backs up.
Oh yeah. What's the name of that one?
This one is called Salute.
Oh yeah. There we are.
Now, all of these projects are on our website under the Live with Lisa button. So if one of these you really have to have, I would order it as soon as possible because this fabric line is going to sell out fast. Now, this one is called, what do we call this one? Oh My Stars. And Joyce Dudney pieced this one for me. And this one is a kind of a throwback to one of the first quilts I ever made. And it was just a 2-color quilt. It was just blue and cream, but I added the red stars. And the blocks were a little bit bigger on my original version of this. But so these are 6-inch blocks, very doable. Here's the backing on this one. This one was quilted at Primitive Gatherings. What you're looking at here is our sleeve. We put a sleeve on every one of our quilts so they can hang in the shop or in the booths. And just for the heck of it, I think I'm going to pause for a minute and see if I can pull out this quilt. So here is that first quilt I told that I pretty much ever made. And this was in a magazine, the American Patchwork magazine. So here's that original one, a little bit bigger. And I hand quilted this. And this is when I didn't know too much about quilting. So I just kind of did whatever I thought would be good. You know, like maybe a couple diamonds in here to mimic this here. So see how I have diamond here. So I just put some diamonds in there and some little flowers in there. I didn't really know what I was doing, but it turned out really good. And it is still a beautiful quilt. And I believe I tea dyed this. I think it was whiter at one time. And I tan dyed this down a little bit to go in our primitive house. Now maybe I should wash it and see if I can get it out so it goes in the brighter house here now. All right, Oh My Stars. So that quilt was the inspiration for Oh My Stars. Okay, so this one is called Pioneer. And we all know that this is just a snowball block. But what we did to make this one different is, you know, we did a red and white row, a blue and white row. And Amy Huffler stitched this quilt over the last month or so while she had time at work. She would go stitch a few blocks and work on this one. But we really made this corner tiny. I wanted that little tiny flip and sew corner to be really small. I didn't want it to be like the traditional snowball block where it was much bigger. And I just believe it adds a lot more interest to the quilt to make that small. Again, Baptist fan, that's our traditional quilting pattern. Here is the back, kind of that fireworks star, Amy calls that. And I bound this in white or the cream. I like the floatiness of having a white binding. And Jake's like, Mom, why are you binding that in white? I'm like, I don't know. I just sometimes like to have the whole thing float and not be like a big stop, even though it's just a little border or a little edge. I like that to be light as well. All right, There you go. Do we have any questions?
Cheater.
does. Jeter does. I don't know what he's all like barking about. All right. Okay. Next one. This one is called American Bouquet. I know we talked about this one. It is 38 by 35. For some reason, I guess depending on where you measure it is not quite square, but I think if you went like that way and that way, it would be the same. So Joanne Blank stitched this for us.
What's the name?
What's that?
What's the name of that one?
This one is called American Bouquet.
Oh yeah.
You want American Bouquet. And Val quilted this one as well. Custom, beautifully done. Here's the back. I have no idea why we put red on this, but we did. Okay. It's beautiful, beautiful table quilt. And then this one, I'm going to save this one till last. The next one, Christine's got the wrong one on here. Let's see. She's got these two switched around. This one's called Charming American. And it is 56 by 60. And this one is made using 5 charm packs. Jeter wants to check it out. So you take, my fabric lines have, I try to have them have even light and even darks in them. As far as, you know, like if the fabrics, this one, American Gatherings has 36 SKUs in it. And I believe there's 18 light and 18 dark. So in this, in the 5 charm packs, you're going to get twice as many lights. So that's why we would cut this in half and then put one in between each of the darks there. So again, I mean, sometimes when you work with pre-cuts, the quilt doesn't have to be like, so like, you know, blow your mind. Sometimes it just has to be easy and something to get done very fast. And this is one of those quilts. And don't you just love the stripe as the binding? All right, and then I'll flip the back so you can see the back. There's the back. One of the star prints. All right, that one out of the way. And then this is I think this might be the biggest quilt here that we've done. And this one is called Sweet Land of Liberty. And I believe it is directional. So that right there is the top. There we go. So these are wool stars. There we go. Wool stars on cotton background. And just Jean Jeske stitched this one for us. So by hand, the stars went on, and then you trim that to the right size as a pattern, and then put it together like any other quilt. This one has a large Baptist fan quilted by the boys, Luke and Jake. I don't know which one does what anymore. Here's your backing on this one. And the size of this one is 78 by 94. So this would fit a king size bed, but if you are going to put like a quilt that is 78 by 94 on your king size bed, what I would do is I would change the orientation of the stars so you could lay that quilt long way this way over the bed, because you know all your pillows are up in front. You don't need that 94 this way, or at least that's what I do with a lot of the quilts I put on the bed. They are nowhere near king size, because I have a quilted like from Pottery Barn. I have like this gray linen kind of comforter type, and then I put my quilts over the top of that, and they don't necessarily have to go from, you know, dust ruffle to dust ruffle, I guess is how I do a lot of those things. Now this next quilt is called America Rolls On. And this is made out of Gently Rolls with the addition of one more blue fabric that you use for the binding. You have a little bit extra fabric because this fabric line has 10 reds and 8 blues. I don't know how that happened, but it did. So that messed this Jelly Roll quilt up a little bit, but We just add a little bit of extra blue with the binding fabric. This again was quilted by Luke and Jake at the warehouse here. Here is the backing. I believe this is called Modern Meandering is the quilting pattern. I don't quite know. And another thing I want to point out is when I've taught the boys when we pick thread to quilt with, that I don't, when we're going to quilt with a light thread, I pick a dark light. Like this is actually like a dark cream. This is not a light cream like what we use in the fabrics. I like to darken it down a little bit so it looks better going over the darker fabrics. So kind of keep that in mind if you're picking threads with your machine quilter. If she asks you what color thread you want, if it's going to go over light and dark fabrics like that, if she's going to do a pantograph where it goes over like that and she's not going to be custom and switching, that always do a little bit darker thread if you're going to quilt light. Okay, we're getting down to the second to last one. This is Outlander Star, American Outlander. And again, I talked a little bit about this one earlier, about the templates. We're going to do a tutorial on this. There was enough fabric left after making it that I could cut another little star block out of here, and there was enough of this border here for me to do like a baby quilt with one star and bound or bordered like the rest of this. So we're gonna videotape a tutorial on how to do this, because I know you all want to freak out about these Y seams, but really they are, I don't want to say they're simple or they're easy, but they are no big deal, if that makes any sense. You just gotta mark where your 1/4 inch intersects, and that's where you stop sewing. And it's very manageable, especially when they're this big. So kind of keep that in mind. Now this is the Outlander Star template, and this is the American Outlander template. So I have two templates that make this quilt. And Kathy Decker is making a solid version where this is just one fabric. So we have to get her the fabric to make that, to test this pattern as well. Only we're going to switch it up and not strip piece it like we did here. And I did this to replicate a lot of the antique quilts that I have. And I will show you those antique quilts in one of these lives coming up.
I got to see the back.
All right. Yep. We got to see the back. And this one was quilted by the boys again in that funky, I don't know what this interlocking pattern was, but you really don't see the quilting on this with all the busyness of the strip piecing. So that's why, you know, when you have a busy print for your background and you have all this busyness going on, don't spend a lot of time with an intricate, fancy quilting design if you're not going to see that. Okay, that's awesome. One more quilt, but this one is not in the book.
They want to know, will there be a kit for American Outlander?
There's a kits for all of them. They're all on the website. You can purchase any of the kits ahead. They will not ship until probably the end of January. This fabric is due to arrive in January, but I don't know middle, beginning, end. But to kind of keep in mind that things kind of have been running a little bit late by a couple of weeks. Like I think Red Work was almost a month behind. So hopefully, you never know when that's going to happen or not, but that's when this fabric is coming out. So if you do order these are all pre-orders. And the shop has been super busy getting out all your orders, and I see that a lot of you are sharing your little prizes that you won. We're not going to give away prizes on this live because we gave away 54 prizes on the last live. And I really love it when you post your prize that you got. So share those with us. Now, this quilt is not in the book, and it is not in, it's a kit box. MODA kitted this one, and it went over so spectacular. Like this whole quilt is amazing, and it was quilted by Val. And this one is called, let me see, what do we call this? Our flag stands for freedom. And Val quilted it, and you see how she kind of did like that back and forth here? in each of the light and dark squares with changing thread. So some quilts, I believe, look better custom quilted, and that's one of the things you have to choose. Like I didn't want to see all that white thread going over these darks on here. So that's why we had this one custom quilted. And it's kind of simple. I think that she did an awesome job of not doing something that competed with the quilt, but it's still awesome in how she did it. So again, this was by Val. Here's the back. The triple stars are on the back. And it looks like even though she used blue, I want to make sure that's not invisible. Blue, she used light thread in the bobbin. So you don't see all that. So that's kind of cool. Again, there it is, full out. Can you see it really good? Do you see most of it?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. There you go, Christine. So those are all the quilts in the Outlander book, or Outlander, American Gatherings. Wow, I'm really doing really good today here. So I wanted to get you all the size. So this is what the book looks like on the website. And this is probably going to be a pillow in the book. There will be other projects in there as well. I think we're going to do a long banner, a couple pillows that we have to go in there. So it's not just quilts. There will be some other projects in there as well. Okay, and last but not least, this quilt is kind of similar to the stitch along quilt that we're going to be doing in January. But this is just the same block over and over. And this is, I'm going to make this when I make the other quilt, but this pattern will be in the book as well. So that's not a finished quilt yet. But if you want to join our stitch along for January and make the quilt that we've all been talking about, and that is, it's a flag quilt like this, but each block will have a different quilt block in the blue field. And all you need to do is a fat quarter tower and a setting fabric, which could be blue or cream, depending on the look that you want. And I haven't really decided which way I'm going to do mine yet. I'll probably do one with a blue border and the other one with a light border. I might do one with each. So that's why I haven't had that one done yet. But get on our site, order our fat quarter towers, and just so you know that every tower that we sold, or bundle, whatever you call these, I like to call them towers, I don't know why. But every fat quarter tower that we sold, we are donating $10 to Hogs to Heroes. And you're going to see a big post and me talking about that all next year. And I can't wait to get them their money, and we'll hopefully raise a bunch of that. Okay. Do we have any questions, Kaylee? While I take a breath.
Nope.
Nope.
They just love everything.
Let me just take a break here and go through a couple of the questions that I had when I asked earlier if anybody had any questions prior to the live that they might want me to address. And one of them was, someone asked about, I posted a pic of me sewing a binding on, and I did not have my walking foot on. And I have to admit that sometimes I use it and sometimes I don't. If it's a smaller quilt, I choose sometimes just to put it on. And it's kind of just laziness. But I don't really think that you have to have a walking foot. At least I don't have any issues when I don't use it. But I would say I probably use my walking foot half the time, and half the time I'm in a hurry and just zip it on if it's not like a big cumbersome quilt. But you also have to remember that the type of batting that you're using really, I think, plays a big role in moving those fabrics along. And we use a pretty thin bat in these quilts, so they're not like a high loft or even that, that chubby 1/4 inch. It's pretty fine, the battings that we use. We use the Luna batting in most of these quilts. So that is the walking foot. Remember, there are no rules. You can do what you want. So if I'm too lazy to not put my walking foot on, it's okay. All right, the summer freebie. Somebody had a question about when the kits were coming for the finishing of the freebie. And guess what? Liz Allred quilted my freebie quilt here. The binding is not sewn back yet. I just put this on over the weekend. So your finishing kit, we're waiting for the grunge in the middle of December. It's got pushed back too. So please know that we have everything cut. We're ready to go. So as soon as this fabric comes in, we will get that out to you so you can finish yours. And we will now have a picture of the quilted quilt in your pattern for finishing because we can now. It's back. So the delay is okay, right? And then as long as I had to show you another quilt from a customer. Now, you all know I have a sister, Lisa, right? And she has a friend. Her name is Terry Hillman. And she made this quilt. We get it right here.
Yeah.
And I said, Lisa, have her send that, borrow that. I want to show that off. So this is double play, a flannel quilt that you've seen us talk about. There's a tutorial on how to do the half square triangles. So this is Terry's version. And I love how she put Let's Stay Home on the bottom. I love, here we'll go like this. I love how she incorporated, this was a pillow in the Flannel Gatherings book. And she just did her own thing and put that on her quilt instead of making it into a pillow. And it looks like she, invisible blanket. No, it's the color. It's not invisible. It looks that good though, that it blends very well. And she did this completely, totally on her own machine quilting. So good job, Terry. I hope you're watching. Say hi if you are. So it's kind of cool that my sister has friends that are quilters because then they know what we're doing here. Okay, so a couple other questions. Hand quilting tutorial. Lisa, will you do a hand quilting tutorial? Yes, I will. Christine's helping me get organized, and we will get to that probably over the winter. So that could be 2 months or 4 months. You never know. Okay. I haven't talked this much for a while. Another question was, how do you keep the moths out of the warehouse? So that's kind of funny. But we really don't have a problem with our wools that we get that come into the warehouse because they are moth-proofed in or moth repellent when they make the fabric. There's something in there, and one of the guys that I buy the wool my office girl. Hey, I can't talk right now. I'm doing a live. Okay, bye. Okay. All right. So we'll call her later. I'll shut this off. You know how to shut this?
Yep.
Okay. So we really don't have a problem with it at all. Nothing in our warehouse gets eaten. So I don't know if it's a more southern problem where you have, hold both of them, where you live. But if you're worried about your wool, you know, put a little lavender sachet. When moths eat wool, most of the time I see that happening in clothing or recycled wools. And what the moths are attracted to is the soil in the fabric. Like if you've had a coat and you put it away and you've got it back out and it has all little like moth holes by the cuffs and the collar. Well, that's where the oils from your skin are collected if it wasn't washed or dry cleaned before it got put away. So kind of, you know, keep that in mind that if you are recycling wools, that might be an issue. But any of the wools that you get from us, you shouldn't have a problem with, unless it's a real southern climate and the wools are, or the moths are real present. But One of the other things I tell you to do is like, if you have a table mat and you're putting it away for the season, put it in a kitchen bag, like a white kitchen bag, and put it in the freezer overnight. So you kill anything that may have harbored its way in there before you put it away for the season and store it. So I hope that answers your question. Or a little lavender sachet in with any of your stuff. That's a natural bug deterrent. All right, next question. Do you use thread wax on your thread? No, I don't. I know a lot of people who do. I don't. I don't usually have a problem with twisting thread. And I don't think they mean on my pearl cotton. I think they mean maybe when you're hand stitching a binding or maybe hand applique, you might want to, but I don't use it. I don't need to. I have some like Thread Magic or whatever, but I find no use for it. I don't have any issues that I can't, and maybe if you're using thread this long, but try to use thread about this long to help with any of that going on. Okay, 6x6 easel projects. So do you know those cute little boards that I made a couple of projects on? People want to know if I will be making more. The answer is yes. Yes, yes, yes. But, lots of deadlines going on here. And maybe we could probably see, I know I already did a winter and I already did fall. So probably coming up for spring and summer, we will have that maybe in the next month or two. After Christmas is over, you'll see us start phasing into spring and summer, and we will get them for that for sure. I know I have them drawn, but I just didn't complete them yet.
Question.
Yes.
Can you wash your wool fabrics? I know you've gone over that before.
Okay, yeah. So Kaylee and I did a whole video about washing and taking care of your
We are back. Go
Hey
ahead.
everyone. I guess we just
Okay. You're good.
we're good?
Yep.
All right. All right, so we just got a couple more questions from earlier. I don't remember where we ended up before, so I don't remember. All right. Openings. If you are interested in joining our wool box, you will have to wait till after our wool box ships. And that will probably be like the end of November, early December is when you'll be able to sign up for the January box coming in 2021. So we will let you know, just stay alert in the group. Go and we'll be talking about it. We'll let everybody know when we have openings. So don't worry. We'll get you that information. But end of November, early December is when you'll be able to sign up for the 2021 wool boxes. Our Christmas event is coming up next week. I will be showing you live all of the projects. Kaylee, are we able to do that Thursday or?
Yeah. we can do
Okay,
that.
Thursday we'll be showing you a bunch of projects for our Christmas open house or what we already have done. For sure we have all the free projects done. And the ones I'm working on now are going to be ones that are for the Christmas event, but they're not like free patterns, they're purchase patterns. And I think we are working on like 10 or 12 different projects for that, just from Primitive Gatherings, all brand new. So that's pretty exciting. And we will talk more about all that information on what you have to do in our next live. Okay, so a couple things to catch up. I have MODA Blockheads blocks. I did not do last week's block. I will be working on that this week because I'm doing the Christmas stuff. So here is block 43. So that is Corey Yoder's block. I did that one last week. Okay. All right. So Kaylee, show them the MODA Blockheads block. This is 43 from Corey Yoder. You want me to do it?
Nope, I got it.
You got it? All right. And just in case, here was 42. I might not have shown that live last time. And then Sewcialites. If you are doing these blocks, I'll just quick show them.
Nick said you're frozen again. I think you should wrap it up.
What's he saying?
Nick said you're frozen again.
You should wrap it up.
No, you finish.
Am I on?
Finish. Yeah, you're on.
Okay. So my Sewcialite blocks. 1, 2, 3. These are the 9-inch ones that I'm doing out of Urban Farmhouse 1 and 2. And I think I have them all except for the last one that Kimberly just showed on Friday. And then I have the small ones. I'll click through my book. Kaylee, good?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7. I'm gonna do like gray and orange and taupey tan colors for the little ones. Throw that little bit of orange in there, so I'll have something fall with a little quilt. Okay, I have one last thing to talk about that is super exciting for me, and that is I have in my hands a real copy of my next book that's coming out in January, and it's called Itty Bitty Celebrations. So I just want to go through it a little bit. So here's the cover, and the best thing about it is how Martingale propped each one of the 100 little itty bitties. Now these are about 2 inches, 2 1/8, 2 1/4. So we give you some supplies and some directions here. And then some stitches. And then we go on, like, it starts with January in the beginning of the year. So I'm hoping to do a little woolly stitch along with these and maybe add in a few more bonus ones if you want to stitch along with me. There are 101 here. So we go through the Easter, spring, going into summer. So see how much fun they had propping each one of these little guys. And then the stands that you see, those are Scotty's little stands. And we have those available. Now I know some of you did these in the wool box last year. You have 52. So I added 49 more in this book. Because you can't stop doing these. Once you do them, you just keep doing them. And they only take like, you can do like 3, 4 of them in an evening. Fall and winter, Christmas. Super cute. And then
I have a question about those. Will you be having a kit for all the blocks?
I don't really know what we're gonna do, but I think it's possible. Because we'd almost have to do it 2 ways, because those of them that already got it in the wool box have half of them already.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what we can do. I'll talk to Jess about this and see what we want to do for kits for this. But really, everything in here is so tiny that if you have any scraps at all, you could easily do these. Now, we laid them all out. So come on over in the kitchen here. And I want Kaylee just to do a nice little swoop of them all. And the lighting, we can't really turn the lights on in here because then it's pretty gray or pretty like funky lighting. So we're just gonna have her do the best we can with the natural light. But here they all are. And then I want to show them the little stands. So then here's a nice little close-up of the stands that Scotty has done. So see how they have a little, it doesn't fold in, it's just always there. And we distress them a little bit. The white and the black are what's available right now. Okay. All right, so that's all I have for you until later on in the week when we talk about our exciting Primitive Christmas event coming up. So thanks for joining in, and we'll see you next time.